Hi everyone, my name is Kelly and welcome to my channel Be You. So today I'm just going to do a quick little card pull, and the deck that I will be using is one of the new ones that I just got, Super Attractor. Um, and you all know where I got this from. If not, just watch one of my videos, but this one was half price books as well. Different location though. So definitely kind of what I always say is if you feel guided to go somewhere, you should really go there. There's always a reason why you're being pulled to go there. So I'm just going to do just a quick pull of the day. And then I'm going to get into my topic of today, which is automatic writing, or intuitive writing as well, it's called. And I want to just discuss how to do that, the techniques, um, and kind of go over my experience since I just started doing that. I do believe about a week ago, or almost a week. All right, so ta-da. So there's multiples here. So I'm just gonna pull the one that feels right. Okay, here we go. I can decide today to recalibrate my energy and commit to love and joy. Now, that's actually kind of funny that that's the card. I had basically a little bit frustration earlier. I woke up pretty good, um, pretty kind of high on life. I'm definitely going through some awakening of my patterns that are coming up that's ready to be let go of, basically. So for some reason, and I don't know if any of you guys agree with me on this, but dishes always seem to just frustrate me, just doing dishes. Not all the time. If I'm just here by myself doing it, it's just something I do and then I'm done with it. But sometimes it's the opposite, and I just get so frustrated with dishes. So I can't tell you like where that's coming from, but it's definitely keeps coming up for something I need to view and kind of see how I can change that, switch it around. So, with that being said, I was in there doing dishes, and I kind of got off my nice little enjoyment because, all in all, if you guys have watched any of my videos, you realize the main focus of us being in our human forms is to experience love and joy. And that's the ultimate, um, I guess, the ultimate answer, really. If you can get to love and joy, then you're exactly where you need to be. I also don't believe that will be an everyday thing, but I myself have realized the more and more I do have these more loving days where I'm not paying attention to time. So, you have to do whatever works for you. For me personally, because I'm so a slave to time, I basically have something blocking my clock in my car, because whatever you focus on, you do get, and you get it pretty fast most of the time. So if you're focusing on that you're going to be late to work, 10 to 1 you're going to be late to work. If you're focusing on that you don't have enough time while you're driving and you keep looking at the clock's going to seem to go faster. So what I have realized, just putting this in play for about 2 weeks, is that if I'm in the car, I cannot see the time, and therefore it's not a big deal. And I always arrive early everywhere I'm supposed to be. So it does work. But sometimes you have to go, well, what's a technique to help you with that? Sorry, my nose is itchy. But basically, you just got to know, like, what, try different things, really. If you want to work on time and take all the clocks in your house and like set them at different times, or just take them down completely. If you're someone who has to have a clock in every room, I would totally say that you probably are a slave to time, because remember, time's not real, it's an illusion that we make up. So that's my little spiel on that. Now I'm going to get into something that I started doing literally not even a week ago. I do believe I started this possibly Monday night, almost a week, if not Tuesday night. So, I've been listening to a guy named Dick that has passed over. I do believe I talked to about him in my last video, but I'm not sure. But basically, I came upon his book at Half Price Books. And as I was reading more about it, I somehow found out that he was passed. Um, and so Hay House has a lot of his books and stuff on audio where you can listen to it. So I've been doing that while I was working, and he has one called Automatic Writing or Intuitive Writing. So I listen at 74 minutes long, and I listen to it every day ever since I found it last week. And I have never actually once did automatic writing that I was aware of that I was actually doing that. So what is it? So automatically writing is basically when you take a pen and piece of paper and you just start drawing circles. One medium does this. Her name is Allison Duvall, and she literally, that's how she communicates with the dead, the ones that have passed over. She literally just draws ovals, and in this his book he talks about just sitting there drawing over ovals. So all you do is you get a piece of paper. Now me personally, I dedicated a journal to this, and you get whatever pencil you want. So I chose one of my more fancier pencils. um so what you do is you just start with, you have to have the attention of who do you want to talk to, who do you want to do automatically writing through your hands. And that's basically what it is that this person or people are coming through you and they are writing, and you will not recall this. Sometimes you will recall if you're having trouble with control. But sometimes, most of the time, when you're that connected, they're the ones writing. You will not have any recognition that you wrote that because you did not write it. So that's kind of cool, right? So basically, what you want to do is you have to be, the biggest thing here is you have to know who you want to do this all the automatic writing with, or intuitive writing. So for example, because I've said it before, I'm supposed to be doing books and writing books, and I've always had this huge block. And it's my own belief, and basically things that I went through in my life, that basically just tells me my belief is real, which is the whole spelling and reading words does not come natural to me, or they're not very easy. They've never really been. But yeah, as a child, I had to go through multiple surgeries on my tongue, um, because when I came out, the tongue was still attached to the bottom, and nobody knew that. So with that, I carried that all the way through. And this is how your mind works. When you literally have a belief in your mind, everything's going to tell you that that belief is so real that it's just, yeah, it's real. It's totally you. So with that, with the intuitive writing, I chose Dick because he was passed. One thing that I asked before I did this, and this is a very important thing here, is to make sure that person that has passed is on the other side. Okay, so that's super important, because if that person has not passed, then you are inviting in someone to step into your body that might not leave because they're still earthbound. So, how do you know? I'm not trying to freak you out, but how would you know if that person's in the light? Well, that's simple. They cannot lie. So when you ask them that question, they will answer the question. Even the ones that are stuck, they cannot lie. They cannot trick you. They don't hold that power. Remember, they hold no power. It's you who holds all the power. So that's the very first thing. So let's have an example here, and let's say that one of you wants to communicate through a loved one. Let's say it's even someone you never met. It was like a great uncle or something, but you've just heard so many stories that you so wanted to meet this uncle, but unfortunately, he was before your time. So what you can do is, like I said, it's probably best to take a journal to dedicate this to this automatically writing, and a really good pencil and a pencil sharpener because you will need that. So with that, you're going to take your journal and you're going to just start to focus on the person that you want to talk to. You're going to just circle and just continue circling. All right. And you're going to just focus on that person. You can focus on their name or whatever you need to get that person to come through. So this is just like a channel as well. Um, so because that's technically what you're really doing is you're channeling this person, but you're allowing them to fully take over so that they can help you with whatever you want them writing about. So basically, you're just going to sit there and you're going to just, like I said, let's go with it's an uncle that you did not know, but you wanted to talk to him. You're going to put his name or a picture in your head and you're going to just start doing your circles. As you start doing your circles, me personally, there's always a power in 3. So saying that person's name 3 times seems to me, anyways, it gets me more connected to that person. And then you're going to go, do I read the chat? Sometimes I do. I just read that one. But sometimes I don't pay attention to the chat, to be honest. And I'm just in the motion of all this. But if you have a question, you can go ahead and ask me, and I can go ahead and try to give you the answer to it. But yeah, so intuitive writing, you're going to focus on your uncle, unless you're the one that wants to focus on your uncle. Oh, well, thank you. So is there anyone that you want to focus on intuitive writing that could perhaps give you answers, or maybe you have questions on certain things that you kind of are curious about doing automatically writing with? Because if not, then I'm going to stick with the uncle because the uncle keeps coming. So I'm going to just stick with that. And that might not be for you. It could be for someone who actually... I do not own a leather coat. Nope. I don't think any questions actually weird, but I don't own any leather coats. But it is interesting that you notice a lot of tarot readers wear them. That's interesting. I'm not one to do fashion, so it's not one of my specialties. So I tend probably not to really focus on a lot of like what people are wearing. It's never really been me. But some people can pull off a lot of really neat outfits. Um, but sorry, let me get back to this intuitive writing. So I got an uncle here, right? So what you need to do, if this is for you, is focus on his name, start drawing your circles. As you draw your circles, the pen will start taking off on its own. And when you do that, that is when your uncle has basically came in, and he's going to write to you. Now, this could be just maybe you want a letter from him, or maybe you just want to ask him a question like, you sounded so amazing. What was one of the greatest things that you enjoyed when you were living? Something like that. It could be very simple, or it can be very like more in depth. So I'm going back to what I did with Dick. He's wrote many books, It's basically I'm writing a book on mediumship. I think there's a lot of fear out there with mediumships, and I think there's a lot of mediums that are coming up to surface that is very afraid of having that ability and being maybe afraid because of all the movies and everything tells you that it's really scary. So I'm writing my very first book about that. So I do automatically writing with Dick, where he comes in, and we've done this every night, and he will write with me. He'll help me write. One thing that I noticed with him is when he's actually writing, his words just flow. He has no hiccups in spelling at all. He just writes, and he just writes in my journal. Um, Also, I have a journal of uh, what my book's going to be. I write it all in this journal. So that's the very first thing I noticed the first night. But I also noticed I was very aware of what he was writing, and then some things I was writing. And then I noticed how my mind was when I was writing. I started getting into words of like, oh, hold on, let me take a moment and see how to spell that. Or, oh, what's I can't spell that word or something like that. And then he literally said, do you realize the reason why you're not that good of a speller is because your mind is already telling you that you're not going to be able to do it. And therefore it causes more of that belief of that I can't do it. So he said, you just stop believing that and then watch what happens. And then he also came in and he told me that control, for him to take fully over and do writing, I had to be willing to give up control. And giving up control is not easy for me because most of the time I don't realize it's a control that I have until someone else kind of like brings it up. And then that's when I'm like, oh, maybe it is control. So every night I channeled him, and it's so crazy when you do an automatic writing. The time like flies. You will feel like it was only 10 minutes, and it will feel like over an hour, and it did not feel like over an hour. Every one of these sessions were over an hour long. But so, anyways, sorry, I was reading her comment. But no, I don't have anything leather. But so very first night I channeled Dick to do automatic writing, and then the second night I did it again, and then the third night I noticed each time it felt like I was letting go more and more of the control, where I was allowing him to do more of the writing. So by my last night, which was not last night because I didn't do it last night, I literally finally let go of control, and he wrote, and I did not write any of that chapter that's in my book. That was all him. And what was really cool is as he was doing that, I got an image that I was sitting at a desk, and I felt like I was him. So I felt like I was at his house where he was doing his writing, and I was just, yeah, it just was amazing experience, to look up and see that nothing on my desk was there, and it felt like this big giant desk, made of all wood. And then it felt like his wife was like coming up the steps. It was definitely someone close to him. I have a feeling it was his wife. Um, but every time I did this every night, you will feel kind of like loopy, like your head's in the stars, because every night I had that experience where my head felt like it was in the stars, like no other. It was like, woo, it felt kind of like you're drunk. So with that, um, as you keep working on this, if you want to keep working on it, if you want to just do a one-time thing, that's perfectly fine. But as you keep working on this intuitive writing, you will let go of some of the fears and beliefs that you have, and even if you're like me and have the control that comes up, you will start to let go because you're creating a bond with this person. And a lot of people have actually done this, to basically like help them write books. But not only to write books, what I realized listening to his book on tape is that you can do it like, and I've tried this actually at work, because my job's new. So I wanted to be kind of like faster. So I literally channeled someone that was a pretty fast typer just to see what would happen. And I surely within a few minutes, definitely someone came in that was like really fast at like just looking for information and typing it in. It was pretty impressive. So, by all means, have fun with it. But it doesn't have to be just writing a book. But like I told you, with like the uncle that keeps coming, it could just be talking to someone who has passed. But the biggest thing here, ladies and gentlemen, is make sure that they are crossed onto the other side before you do that. So that's my little journey. That is where I started this week. That's something new that I decided to do because it came upon me. And I really enjoy doing this. So I'll probably do another update to it. But I encourage you, if you're interested in this, or if you tuned into this channel because you saw automatic writing and wanted to know more, I hope you got any information that you need. If not, you can always reach out to me. My email is musardk05@gmail.com. I almost said Hotmail. It's not Hotmail. It's gmail.com. So you can always reach me there. I do tarot readings, and I do a lot of different healings, crystal healings, skull healings, and they can be one-on-one in person or remotely. That's totally up to you. It doesn't have to be in person. So if you are interested in I'm lost a train of thought of what that word's called. If you're wanting to book a session with me, then just go ahead and go online and get a hold of me through my email. All right. So that's all I have for you tonight. So go ahead and start playing around with kind of channeling slash automatic writing and see how it goes. All right, everyone, have a good night, and I'll see you soon. Bye.